Welcome back to Strength and Health for Life, where we prevent you from polluting your body. Hello! Welcome to day 81 of our weight loss journey together. Before we begin, we ask that you smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell to receive all alerts, and watch the video all the way through. Also, if there are any topics you'd like to see in this channel, please leave your suggestion in the comment section below. Alrighty, today we continue our series on food additives by talking about sulfites. So you may be wondering, what exactly is a sulfite? Wouldn't you like to know? To explain what a sulfite is, we may have to go a little bit into chemistry, but I'll try to make it as easy to understand as possible. So a sulfite is one sulfur molecule with 3 oxygen molecules. It's usually combined with sodium or potassium to create sodium sulfite or potassium sulfite. These end up being inorganic salt compounds with many different properties. Most of the properties aren't really that important, but the primary property that is when it is introduced to a strong or a weak acid, such as your stomach acid. Sulfites end up decomposing into sulfur dioxide, and it doesn't matter whether it's attached to a sodium or a potassium, this is the result. If you watched our first video in this series, you'll know that sulfur dioxide is considered an air pollutant, and you just created it in your stomach. That's probably why those that are sensitive to it end up with asthmatic reactions, because you're literally generating air pollution in your stomach. And you know you end up inhaling part of that when you burp or just from normal digestion. Now, if you're not sensitive to this, it'll be mostly harmless at first. But as with all compounds that have this effect, the more you ingest, the more sensitive your body will become to it. Yes, there are natural sources of it, but the natural sources have significantly small amounts. And once again, it comes down to chemical structure. In this particular case, it comes down to what kind of bonds are being formed between the sulfite and the sodium or potassium. And if that's not enough reason for you to avoid it, just take a look at these ways that it's used. By the way, if you'd like to take control of your income so that you can avoid these food additives, buy back more time to do the things you want, and create the life that you want to live like I have, then take action now and click the first link in the description to learn how. These are the ways that sulfites are used. It's used to prevent discoloration in dried fruits. It's used in swimming pools to decrease chlorine levels. You're literally eating a pool chemical. Since sulfites tend to be oxygen hungry, they're often used to treat the water being pumped into boiler systems to prevent pitting from corrosion. And just so you know, as an engineer, pitting can be a problem, especially in turbines. Little side note, sorry. The textile industry uses it for bleaching. They use it to bleach clothes. And you're eating it. It's even used in purifying TNT, making it fit for military use. You're eating something that they purify explosives with. No, it's completely safe. No, it's not. At least not the synthetic version. Natural occurring sulfites are perfectly fine because they're in small doses and, once again, as stated before, they have a different chemical structure. Even the slightest difference can make it safe. So what are the symptoms of an allergic reaction? Well, these are not good. These symptoms include hives, diarrhea, shortness of breath, and fatal anaphylactic shock. And the thing is that sulfite sensitivities can start and or increase in severity at any moment in your life. There is no age restriction on developing the sensitivity at all. Now, the FDA has at least banned it on all foods that are meant to be eaten raw. But since it doesn't decompose until about 440 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 226 for those of you who use Celsius, there's almost guaranteed to be plenty left over in the food that uses it. Unless you like your food burnt. Can I have a side of charcoal, please? Gross. However, it must be listed on the ingredient list anywhere that it's used as a preservative or anywhere where the saturation is over 10 parts per million. So let's give you the names that are used on the ingredient list. This is one of the few that must 100% be labeled clearly since it can be fatal to those who are sensitive to it. Potassium metabisulfite, potassium bisulfite, sodium sulfite, sodium bisulfite, sodium metabisulfite, sulfur dioxide, sulfiting or sulfating agents, sulfuric acid, and sulfites. So let's look at some of the foods that contain sulfites. Again, this isn't a complete list, but it'll give you some idea. Canned and frozen fruits and vegetables, fruit and vegetable juices, anything like fruit fillings, syrups, jellies, jams, relishes, and any other kind of preserve. Dried fruits and vegetables, mussels, like Metamucil, cornmeal, cornstarch, crackers, most table condiments like ketchup, mustard, horseradish, pickles, and relish, all soy products, and all those sweeteners that you're supposed to be avoiding anyway. There's also quite a few drugs and pharmaceuticals that use it, so it's best to check the ingredient list on anything over the counter and ask your pharmacist if your prescription medication contains any sulfites. Also, make sure you notify your doctor immediately if you begin to have a sulfite sensitivity. That way, any prescriptions that he writes will not contain sulfite. As you can see, it's actually pretty hard to avoid sulfites. As with all these food additives, the best way to avoid them is to have a healthy, natural diet of fresh foods that you cook yourself. Keeping track of all these things can be difficult. Just like losing weight on your own is very difficult. It'll definitely help to have somebody with you in order to talk to them about things like this. So if you're looking for a weight loss community to help keep you motivated and accountable, or you're just looking for someone to talk to and be with you along your weight loss journey, please follow us on Facebook and join our Facebook group. Those links are at the bottom of the description. With all that said, stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the next video.